Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. Alright, so today we're talking the Diddy trial as details are starting to come out since we have our jury, and I'm going to get right to the AUSA, y'all. So basically this is coming from the Inner City Press, and essentially, I'm just going to read over kind of what they've been saying. So, per the AUSA Johnson, their opening statement was to Combs the public. He is a cultural icon, a businessman, a larger-than-life. But there was another side to him. You will hear about 20 years of the defendant's crimes. He had a team help him. Kidnapping, arson, drugs, sex crimes. Let's start with one night. He was on the hunt for his girlfriend, Cassie. He forced her to have sex with male escorts while he watched and recorded it. He found out Cassie was seeing another man. Furious, he set out to find Cassie and another man. He woke an employee to drive to the house, but no one was there. The defendant didn't give up. He kept looking for Cassie. When he found her, he beat her brutally, kicking her in the back and flinging her around like a rag doll. But that wasn't enough. He told Cassie he could have released video of her having sex with male escorts. He broke into a man's house and he beat and blackmailed his girlfriend. These are not his only crimes. Cassie is not the only woman he beat and sexually exploited. 20 years of crimes. He had a business, Bad Boy Records, that made him right. He relied on his bodyguards, chiefs of staff who ran all aspects of his life. The group promoted his power. His bodyguards kidnapped an employee and set a car on fire and dangled a person. They delivered drugs whenever he said, including to a woman he forced to have sex with an escort. He transported them across state lines and even out of the country. Let me be very clear. This case is not about a celebrity's private sexual preferences. This was criminal. He coerced and even used violence. Along this trial will focus on two women, Cassie and Jane. We will show that the defendant used lied, drugs, threats, and violence to force them to have sex with him in front of male escorts. He called them freak-offs, wild king nights, or hotel nights. His staff organized flights, cars, and hotels. At his direction, his staff set up the room with lubricant and lighting. Staff came in with cash to pay the escorts and drugs. He made them take MDMA or Molly and ecstasy. It made them sick, but also sexually aroused. He directed every step. He expected the women to appear to enjoy themselves. He masturbated and recorded the events. Cassie was 19 with a hit song. Cassie tried to work on her music, but the defendant made her turn down many opportunities. She recorded, but he had the final say over the music she released. There was never another album. He hit Cassie in the head and dragged her by the hair. He stomped on Cassie's face in an SUV, then made her stay in a hotel for a week to hide her injuries. He set up freak-offs as often as once a week. She spent half of her time. The defendant made an escort do the golden shower, like the Dave Chappelle pee on you song, urinate in her mouth, y'all. That is utterly disgusting. As you will see in this trial, he beat her in the hallway of a hotel to drag her back to the freak off. Initially, she wanted to make him happy, but then she didn't want to. But the defendant made her. The consequences were severe. He thought she took too long in the bathroom. Defying him would end in violence. She fled, but he found her with the help of his inner circle. Cassie's career was in her hands. He told her that he could destroy her career by releasing video. I think they meant to say Cassie's career was in his hands. When he said that to have a freak off, she knew she had no choice. She had called the escort and put on the performance he wanted. Her safety depended on keeping him happy. Their relationship was complicated. Both were unfaithful, but only one of them had power. He made Cassie do his bidding in those dark hotel rooms. Cassie was not the only one. There was a pattern. Let me tell you about Jane. Jane was a single mom that started spending time with him in 2020. She fell in love with him. He was seeing other women. One night, he told Jane about freak-offs and made it happen immediately. He took her to a hotel where an escort was on the way. He directed her step by step. Jane thought it was a one-time wild night. She was wrong. He continued offering a real relationship. Jane wanted the escort to wear condoms, but the defendant did not let them. Jane tried to make it through these nights without drugs. For the first time, she broke down and took ecstasy to finish. Another time, she vomited, but he said, "Go do it again." Jane found two men and invited them to join the freak-off so she could choose the man she would be intimate with. The defendant discouraged her from working. He had the power to coerce her back into the hotel rooms. He threatened her with the videos. Not even a year ago, he went to her house. She was angry. She hit him. He became enraged. She tried to hide. She locked herself in her bedroom. He kicked it open, then the bathroom, then the closet, then the guest bedroom. He kicked her to the ground. He did not let Jane be. He said, "You're not going to bleep up my night," he said. "Call up an escort and perform." Jane followed his instructions. His violence got him what he wanted. Cassie will tell you about the time the defendant forced himself on her. MIA and employees will tell you how the defendant forces himself on her, hand up on her dress, penetrating her, admits all this violence. He and his inner circle work to cover up his crimes. The video at the LA hotel, you will hear just how far it went. The defendant offered a hotel security guard a wad of cash, a brown paper bag with $100,000 and $100 bills. The inner circle kept Cassie in hiding for days. For all of this, he is charged with multiple federal crimes, racketeering, conspiracy. Cassie and Jane will tell you the most painful experiences of their lives. You will hear from some of the defendant's employees, including his personal assistant, Mia, who he sexually assaulted. She is grappling with it. You will hear from the employee he forced into an SUV with a GUN, and from a chef. They work punishing hours at times without sleep. They bought drugs for him. They were expected to keep quiet. Some of these witnesses have already received settlements. You will also hear from some of the escorts that the defendant directed them and filmed them. An escort saw the defendant, ASSAULT, Cassie, and drag her by the face during a freak-off. You'll see records from hotels and the damage in the car services. You will see text messages in which the defendant tells the staff to bring cash for escorts, and by Jane saying she did not want to do freak-offs. You will see videos in them. You can hear the defendant provide direction to Cassie and Jane, high on ecstasy. You will see a video of the defendant brutally beating Cassie during a freak-off in an LA hotel. You will see photos of the damage, including 4 doors in Jane's home not even a year ago. You will see what he had in his home: guns, med bag of GRUGS, and lube. You will see the agreement with the hotel guard barring him from speaking after he paid $100,000 for the video. You will hear him manipulate Jane into saying she wanted it. His threats did not pay for her home, or his threats not to pay for her home. Text to his staff about it. "I asked you to do 3 things. Pay attention to the evidence, follow the judge's instructions on the law, use your common sense, and you will reach the verdict that Sean Combs is guilty." And then Diddy's defense attorney does his opening statement. So this is from Garagos. He says, "This case is about love and jealousy and money. They're trying to turn it into a racketeering case. It will not work. You are the jury. You will evaluate the witnesses, and finally the story can come out. This case isn't about what you heard on the news. Sean Combs is fascinating. He grew up in Harlem and built lawful business. He worked for it. He created a culture and produced music that changed a generation. Witnesses will share with you that he is a fascinating person and that people are drawn to him. If you wanted to climb in music, apparel, beverages, you wanted to be around Sean Combs. He gave people opportunities to work at his companies. He had a vision that few had. The witnesses mostly loved him. The text messages will show that. He is 55 years old. He is going to be Sean Combs. I am Tenny Garagos. I am honored to represent him. The only people in this courtroom who will tell you about racketeering are the prosecutors. There was no conspiracy. This case is about Sean Combs' private sex life. The government has no business in that. These are hardworking individuals, were educated from Harvard to Howard University. He has a temper and got violent. He is not proud of that. We own it. He sometimes gets jealous or angry. He is out of control. You will hear that he lied to his girlfriends. You may think that he is a jerk or mean, but he is not tried for that. He is tried for running a racketeering enterprise. This is domestic violence. Domestic violence is not sex trafficking. Had he been charged with domestic violence, we would not be sitting here through an 8-week trial. He is not guilty of any of these crimes. As the trial goes on, we are going to take accountability. We will not shy away. Sean Combs had a bit of a different sex life. The alleged victims were all getting something from him. They are all adults. They too must take responsibility for their lives as he does for his. A free choice has pros and cons. You will evaluate these women. They made free choices every day for years. Ask yourself, what are all the ways this individual had the ability to make these choices? Ask, what is this person getting? Something they want, it may differ. Jealousy drove choices of the victims. Combs never married, but he is a many-woman man. He is always in multiple relationships. He was not always honest. It drove primal jealousy. Sean Combs is extremely jealous. You might think it's hypocritical. They remained in multi-year relationships with him. These women were in love with him. Infidelity and jealousy drove the violence. Alcohol and drugs drove things, but he is not a racketeer. This case is about his relationship with Cassie and Jane, and you will hear about swinger parties. They will testify about things that should never be heard in a federal courtroom that he liked to watch. You may not like that, but you're not here to judge him for his sexual preferences. A wealthy rapper paid for women's homes and vacations. He is not charged with being a flawed individual. These women fought to be in a relationship with him. Cassie, I expect you will hear from her this week about her 11-year relationship. Combs with Kim Porter, the mother of his 4 children. He continued with her until her death from pneumonia in 2018. His fights with Cassie were about cheating. It was a toxic relationship. They loved each other. Cassie will tell you about the jealousy of Kim Porter, then Gina. The day of the hotel lobby, the jealousy was on display. Violence by the elevator bank 10 years ago. You will see it later today. What Combs did is indefensible. The video is not evidence of sex trafficking. Cassie walked out of the hotel room with 2 bags. Combs comes down wearing only a towel. He stomps her and drags her by her hoodie. He comes back around to get a phone. What causes a fight about a phone? Phones keep the secrets of infidelity. As soon as he gets the phone, he sits down. He is visibly disgusted. Cassie calls security. You will hear from him later today. The guard tells him to leave the public area. You will see Cassie tell him to get back to the hotel room. They stay together 2 more years after this incident. Even in 2018, they are fighting to stay together. She saw a photo of Combs with Gina. He started with her in 2014. Cassie had a choice every single day to stay with him. That was her better choice until she broke up with him. She was not coerced. When she left, there were no repercussions. She ran into the arms of a physical trainer Combs had hired to train her. The only freak-offs you will see at this trial were on her phone, not his. In November of 2018, Kim Porter passes away from pneumonia. Cassie did everything to be there for him. She flew to Georgia. Amidst a breakup, she flew to be with him. Combs said, "Kim's was my soulmate." The end of a relationship between Combs and Cassie was triggered by that. Cassie realized all the things she would not be. She wanted to be Combs' wife, the love of his life. She spent 11 years trying to get that. Cassie married the trainer and is pregnant with her 3rd child. Evaluate Combs' intent at the time for those 11 years. The messages will show she is a willing participant in their sex life. Cassie's testimony this week can't change that. In 2020 with Jane, Combs was more upfront. He told her he was dating other women. She was still jealous. Jane wanted it public. He proposed with a consensual threesome. They went to a private hotel. I expect her to say she enjoyed it. Jane was desperate to be with him, to give him things others couldn't. She tried to make it more than sexual. I'm not sure how she'll put it, but it always came back to the parties in the hotel rooms. This was their time together. Jane did it for the cuddle. She wanted wanted to make him happy. She was unable to resist him emotionally. There was a phone call in November 2023. Even after it, she flew out to see him many more times. It was toxic, but she was willing. Being a willing participant in your sex life, sex life, is not sex trafficking. If she'd walked away, she would have lost him. You will see her jealousy. She would see him on social media with another woman, and she would send message of regret. It's not coerce. She was driven to try to be in first place. This was the way to try to get there. That is not a crime. There's a night a year ago where Jane hit Combs. It was born out of jealousy. He hit her back. She was overcome by jealousy. She slammed his head. She slammed his head into her kitchen counter. Months later, she flew to see him and invited an escort. She would call it one of her best nights, a wild king night, or whatever you want to call it. This will be hard to watch. They are, in one word, intimate. The government told you about someone named Mia. Why are they making these allegations now? You will conclude that everyone has a motive. With Mia, she never said it before, nor when she first started cooperating with the government. If this was so hostile, why did they not call the police? They are vindictive. Their motive is simple, muddy. Cassie filed a public lawsuit in November 2023. She was living in her parents' modest home in Connecticut. She went to a civil lawyer. The civil lawyer is here today. They went to civil lawyers to make a money grab. Cassie demanded $30 million. Another asked for $22 million. How many millions of reasons do these witnesses have to lie? The evidence will not make out the charges. On bribery, this is about the Intercontinental Hotel. He paid a security guard to make the footage go away. This is solely to prevent a bad publicity for Combs and Cassie. There was no law enforcement investigation. The kidnapping related to an employee. She worked for him for 10 years. She asked to work for him again. DRUG trafficking. It was personal use. They worked hard. They were there to do something great and novel. It was a free choice. There's no conspiracy. He was paying different men for their time and experiences. PORN, corn actors get paid. Hulk Hogan, Cowboys for Angels. You can pay money for time and an experience. That is what Sean Combs was doing. You are not here to impose your morality on this man. If you listen, you will find him not guilty of these crimes. Thank you. And so then as well, I think also they were talking about, some other things that in regards to some of the exhibits. And so I believe that they are going to continue on this afternoon with everything. But yeah, like this is going to be an interesting 8 weeks, y'all. Like, what do y'all think of the opening statements from the prosecution as well as Diddy's defense attorney? What do you think in regards to what they have to say? Please let me know what y'all think in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.